WWE wrestling games had always been a significant part of my childhood, with SmackDown vs Raw 2008 and 2009 introducing me to the wrestling video game franchise on the PlayStation 2. 2K's newest installment, WWE 2K22, is scheduled for a release later this year, and with only a few weeks since its new teaser trailer, now's the time for me to break down and cover absolutely everything we know about this game so far. 2K have decided to put more focus into the next main installment to the WWE games library with 2K22, after the failed disappointment that was 2K20. WWE 2K Battlegrounds was released in 2K21's stead, but I'm eagerly awaiting the next mainstream wrestling game. With its extra half a year in development, this has the potential to be much better than its most recent predecessor. Developed by Visual Concepts and published by 2K Games, WWE 2K22 has been confirmed to release on the PS4, Xbox One and PC, and is expected to also release on next or now current gen consoles, PS5, Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. To cover every detail I have found, this video will be split into 3 chapters: the trailer breakdown, gameplay and other details. On April 10th, during the first night of WrestleMania 37, WWE 2K22 revealed its official teaser trailer. This 30-second teaser included live action footage of Rey Mysterio and a work-in-progress build of gameplay, of Rey hitting his iconic 619 signature move to Cesaro. It was an interesting choice of clips to use, but at the end of the day it is a teaser trailer early on in development, so it can't be expected to be as breathtaking or revealing as the upcoming proper first trailer. With that being said, it could have been better. The graphics are an improvement, but not by a considerable amount in comparison to WWE 2K20. It doesn't look next gen, but this was never the intention. Rey looks a little too plasticky, but hair detail and mechanics have improved. Unfortunately though, the 619 to Cesaro is the same animation taken from 2K20, as seems is the same with a few other trailer details. The arena reflects that of the Thunderdome, but with a live crowd. Even though it definitely isn't a priority for me, a small arena with crowd screens will hopefully appear in the game so you can create your favorite matches from the pandemic. It hits different is 2K22's tagline. 2K Global Communications Manager Al Stavolo explained the meaning behind this message. "We want that to be clear that it doesn't just apply to the game itself," Stavolo said. "It applies to the way that we market the game, the way we communicate the game with press, content creators and our community. We want to try out a lot of new ideas. We want to bring everyone along for the journey. You're going to be seeing things earlier than before. You're going to be seeing kind of a deeper, more behind the scenes look at things than you have in the past. And we think transparency is really important. We certainly are cognizant of the reception of the franchise," Stavolo said. "We want to show that this is a completely different and new step in the right direction, so we're going to be communicating early and often. WWE 2K20 was a shambles, and 2K know this. That is why they held on a year without releasing 2K21, why they released a teaser trailer earlier on in development than any previous game, and why they are trying to improve 2K22 and make it a game for the fans." On a different note, 2K22's ESRB rating is currently pending, but will almost certainly result in an ESRB teen rating like its predecessors. And looking back at previous games, we're looking at an October release. I plan to make a video on when I specifically think it will release, so subscribe to stay tuned. If you thought the teaser trailer was all there was to know about WWE 2K22, you would be wrong. 10 months ago, executive producer at 2K Games Patrick Gilmore went onto Reddit for an AMA, where the community could ask him anything and they did. In this thread, many gameplay details and development objectives were revealed, so let's break them down. Gilmore explained there are 6 core areas of focus: core gameplay, making the superstar vs superstar gameplay the best it's ever been; emergence, leveraging physics and more generic object/environment systems to enable spectacular gameplay that players feel in control of; WWE experience, delivering an end-to-end true WWE experience in all aspects of the game, from UI and wrapper to superstars, match types and story modes; online, improving all aspects of the online experience; character, make the best looking superstars of all time; and create, upgrade the creation suite and make our community creation tools feel like magic magic to use. Core gameplay is one of the major investments we're making in the next installment, one of the 6 pillars we are focused on disproportionately in development. We are looking at much loved previous games like No Mercy and SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, along with top franchise installments and more modern wrestling and fighting games to build an all new philosophical foundation for the game. People who hope that we holistically adopt the control scheme or philosophy from one of their favourite games are likely to be disappointed. We are trying to combine the best ideas out there into a brand new wrestling experience that sets a new standard. As somebody who has criminally never played Here Comes the Pain, I'm not aware of the benefits of gameplay it has, but with the developers taking inspiration from the classics and the best games of the franchise, that is definitely a good thing. The gameplay team is focused on accessibility, depth and wrestling experience. For accessibility, we're obsessed with a simple, intuitive interface which has meaning and a depth in a wide variety of contexts, i.e. the game is a lot smarter about what the player is trying to do given a gameplay situation, in a grapple, on the ropes, against a turnbuckle, etc., with consistent inputs regardless of the situation. New players should be able to accidentally pull off awesome moves just by playing with and experimenting with controls. A problem 2K20 suffered with was its overcomplicated use of controls, and it seems 2K22 will improve on this with a simpler yet not oversimplified control scheme that new players will pick up on much easier. For depth, we're looking at a lot of ring position, deeper combos and working moves, limb damage, technical capabilities, match momentum and unlocks, and rock paper scissors strategies by archetype and player style. Depth doesn't come from the manual skill of pressing the proper buttons, but from the psychological game of anticipating and countering your opponent's strategy, and this needs to be built in from the very foundation, so expect a significant evolution in gameplay with the next installment. The last aspect of great gameplay is capturing the essence of professional wrestling, which has dimensions of drama, changing context, massive roster, backstage action, weapons and props, audience participation and spectacle. One of the huge challenges of the franchise is finding ways for players to feel in control of the vast number of potential outcomes in a given match. While we take lessons from fighting games, action RPGs and other genres, this aspect helps us stay focused on delivering a through and through wrestling game. While we're determined to deliver the spectacle and specific moments of a genuine match, I can say we're trying to get away from UI pop-ups and mini-games to represent things like pins or reversals, and instead move those concepts into more fully realized mechanics which feels like an extension of the main experience. This is beautiful news. Minigames has always been my least favorite aspect of any recent wrestling game title, and I'm glad 2K22 will be moving to incorporate these actions into more traditional gameplay, instead of UI pop-ups and minigames. The creation suite is an essential factor of a wrestling video game, and like most other aspects, it will be improved upon in WWE 2K22. Create is one of the 6 primary areas of focus for the next game. We are looking at all modes in the Create suite, streamlining interfaces and improving the experience for power users. We're also upgrading base models and trying to bring more personality and flow to the creation process. The Create team's vision is tools that feel like magic to use. They want everyone to be able to create something that looks amazing to incorporate the creation into the game, and to share it with the world. As well as base models for Create a Wrestler characters, the devs are also updating core to improve hairstyles for women, and according to the online producer, cross-platform community creations is an idea they aim to implement. But Superstars isn't the only aspect of the creation suite to be updated in this game. Create an Arena will be back and improved, and Create a Story has the potential to return. GM mode is one of the most requested features we get. I can say that my message to the team was, we're not just going to trot out a mode from 2008 without bringing something new. Top Minds are thinking about that right now. Top Minds. General Manager mode is possibly the most requested aspect to return to a wrestling video game franchise, but by this wording I don't think it's going to happen. With that being said, Top Minds are apparently working on the mode, and we could see a GM type mode in this upcoming game. Universe mode and its experience will also be updated and improved with a few new features. Don't expect the content to be drastically different, but the flow of using Universe mode is said to improve with 2K22. Alongside a discussion on classic wrestling games, Gilmore says SVR 2009 and 2010 Road to WrestleManias were great as well, as they really embraced the theatre of wrestling, and I couldn't agree more. SmackDown vs Raw 2009 might not be most people's favourite wrestling game, but it was mine. It was the game that introduced me to the world of wrestling and the WWE, and I remember playing and replaying the storylines of Road to WrestleMania hours on end. I do really hope this is a small tease to the possibility of Road to WrestleMania returning, but we'll just have to wait and see. WWE 2K19 is the game I play when I'm in the mood to play a wrestling game. It's been a while since I've played any other, but my main problem with it has been the repetitive and out of place commentary. Sometimes the commentators will call moves moments after it happened, or not call on imperative moments, like Randy Orton's signature DDT move, where it's commonplace for a commentator to say "Vintage Orton!" Either way, this was addressed here, from an audio team member on the WWE 2K team. Regarding commentary, we are aware of this, and we are working on creating much improved and enhanced reactions to better suit each situation. The past 2 cycles, we have made progress on a new foundation to build on, and we're focused on expanding content to support more situations in our next title. As for crowd, we are currently updating our crowd systems to sound fuller and more responsive to specific action taking place. Addressing repetition in content is a major focus for the commentary team, and something we're excited about, as it's a major part of bringing realism to the experience and a more organic representation of broadcast. Both interruption and branching commentary elements, along with repetition in content, is a major focus for the next title. Reactions from both the commentators and crowd could be groundbreaking if done correctly. It could really sell the immersiveness of wrestling and the impact of moves you make if dealt hand in hand with good gameplay. I could really see this being a standout if this one aspect has that much more attention. Tying this thread back to the WWE 2K22 teaser trailer, Rey Mysterio and Cesaro are both sporting outdated attires from 2020, which could become even more outdated by the time this game releases later in the year. Gilmore has stated if changes to a superstar's gimmick happen in time to make it into the game, we'll attempt to make those changes, suggesting we'll have the most updated attires possible at release, which will become outdated over time like each WWE game before it. But to combat this, Patrick Gilmore replied to a tweet suggesting live service, saying we are working on a live service strategy and will explore OVR updates, thanks for the idea. If live service is considered, this will be awesome. The attires and gimmick of each superstar, new arenas and championships could be updated every other week or even once a month as the game is live. This will make fans want to come back every month to see what new attires and arenas they can play with for a new experience that reflects WWE in its current shows. This way, Rey Mysterio and Cesaro, amongst other superstars, will have their most up-to-date superstar sets at all times, in addition to their previous in-game counterparts. Gilmore isn't the only active member of WWE 2K22 on Twitter. The official WWE 2K22 account and their official dev account have both been active in the lead up to the teaser trailer, and with early communication and development insight being a key intention for the marketing of this game, I expect we'll see a lot more activity from these accounts up until release, all of which I'll cover here on this channel. It's not all good news for WWE 2K22 though. Many wrestlers since 2K20 have been released from the company or otherwise moved to a new production. Wrestlers that won't be featured in 2K22 include Chris Jericho, Dean Ambrose, Matt Hardy, Heath Slater, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Zack Ryder, Rusev, Big Show, Samoa Joe, and Kalisto. If a 2K Showcase storyline requires any of these wrestlers to return, then I believe it could happen, but don't keep your hopes too high. Not having the option to play as the Big Show, Dean Ambrose, or Chris Jericho is definitely a shame, as they've always been superstars I've enjoyed playing in prior wrestling games and had hoped to get back into the ring with in 2K22. And so that's it for everything we know so far about WWE 2K22. All links to the provided information will be linked in the description down below if you'd like to check out any of the sources for yourself. If you enjoyed the video or learned anything new, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. I'll be keeping you all up to date on WWE 2K22 up until its release later this year and beyond, so don't miss out. I'm introducing my new personal channel to YouTube as well, which will include either videos or live streams of some of the older WWE games, so go ahead and subscribe via the link in the description down below so you don't miss out on that either. Be sure to also follow me on Twitter and Instagram and join the Discord community. Those links are also linked in the description down below. Thank you all for watching, but for now, stay tuned and I'll see you soon.